Over 600 athletes from 22 countries, from 16 years to 77, converged on Hobart for the 1994 World Duathlon Championships, the first to be held in the Southern Hemisphere. On a flat, fast course, competitors began with a 10-kilometre run around the Derwent Entertainment Centre, cycling 40 k's, finishing off with another run over 5 kilometres, a journey expected to take an hour and a half. Arriving with the athletes, $4 million worth of bicycles.
Push that little button and it pushes this fluid up into here. So he just drinks off, so when he wants to drink, that's in his mouth, he just drinks off that.
But whether it would make the difference between winning and losing would remain to be seen. 2 days before the World Championships, Hobart was alive with colour, a parade of nations through the city's heart, giving the athletes one last chance to let their hair down before the serious business began. At last year's World Championships in Dallas, Texas, Australia emerged as the #1 nation. The Aussies were strongly favoured to repeat that achievement, with the biggest threat expected to come from the United States. Lured by the challenge, Olympic cycling gold medalist Cathy Watt was part of the 160-strong Aussie team and aiming to finish among the pace setters.
I've got a tear in my Achilles tendon, so it's really just depends how that shapes up. I haven't run for 4 years, so I've had a bit of a crash course recently, and I'll just see how my Achilles pulls up, really. Top 10 I'd be happy with.
But it wasn't to be.
2, 1.
Irma Heron quickly moved to the lead on the opening run, a position she would never lose. Among those who would be chasing her all day, Queensland's Jackie Gallagher. By the halfway mark of the stage, Cathy Watt had fallen to the rear of the field, her Achilles tendon clearly troubling her. Arriving at the first transition, she trailed by 14 minutes. Barely able to walk, she pushed through the punishing 40-kilometre cycle, but her race was already over. Returning for the final change, she withdrew. Irma Heron continued to set the pace. Runner-up at last year's world titles, Heron held a 35-second lead going into the final stage, pulling away in the sprint home, finishing the 55-kilometre course in 2 hours, 3 minutes.
The happiest woman on the world, I think, at the moment. I'm also going first on the bike, and I see what they do because my cycling is not so good. So I think they come to me and they pick, but I stay on the front and I win this race.
1 minute 37 seconds behind was Switzerland's Natascha Budman. 6th after the run, she improved greatly on the bike with the fastest time. It was vital to her clinching her first World Championship medal.
I had already some good results the year before, but I never had a medal.
Taking bronze, Jackie Gallagher, the Australian duathlon champion, proved she could mix it with the best in the world.
I was pretty well about third the whole way, but those couple in front were really strong.
The elite men's race was also dominated by the powerful Europeans.
And they're heading off at a furious pace already.
The outstanding performance came from first-time entrant Norman Stadler, though it was Geelong's Tim Bentley who led the field home for the first transition. He finished the run 4 seconds ahead of the United States' Darren Raw and fellow Australian Andrew Noble. Stadler, who had spent his pre-race build-up in the Blue Mountains outside Sydney, went through the opening transition in 11th. But a strong bike leg with a 21-year-old German reached speeds of 85 kilometres per hour saw him finish with a firm grip on the gold medal. Despite being only 6th fastest on the 5-kilometre run, Stadler was the only one to average over 30 kilometres per hour over the entire race, allowing him to finish a massive 1 minute 43 seconds ahead of Switzerland's Urs Delsberger, who repeated his silver-winning performance of last year. For the German, the trip halfway round the world had proved worthwhile. Stadler now recognised as one of the world's finest endurance athletes.
It's wonderful. It's my best day in life, and I think the training was very good the last 2-3 months, and I want to say thank you to all my trainers and my father, my family. Yes, and it's nice, it's wonderful.
The highest placed Aussie, Andrew Noble, emulated the feat of Gallagher by capturing the bronze medal.
Very happy, very happy. I was like in 7th place off the bike and I just had a good run and picked them up very quickly, so I was very lucky.
The green and gold capped the World Championships by finishing as the top nation. The Australian women all finishing in the top 10 with the exception of Watt, the Aussie men filling 4 of the top 12 places. Cathy Watt returned home in a wheelchair on Monday, her immediate racing future on hold. Though the event wasn't as successful for everyone, many falling victim to the weather and the effects of endurance racing.
Chambers in the years to come.